Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to another fishing report. Just want to remind you guys, we will be posting ice and fishing reports every Thursday morning if the weather allows. Like this week with the extreme cold temps and then the warm up coming, we are posting on Friday mornings, but definitely look forward to the weekly updates the rest of the ice season. Also, if you use any of the guides or resorts mentioned in today's report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And with that being said, let's dive right into this week's fishing report. All right, this week we're going to start up on Lake Winnie out of the Pines Resort on Tamarack Bay. They have roughly 10 to 11 inches of ice now. They are allowing out ATVs, side-by-sides, and snowmobiles currently. As far as the fishing goes, a pretty good walleye bite going on right now in 9 to 11 feet of water. The bite is really good at that hour before sunrise and an hour past sunrise. And then it's really good again an hour before sunset and into the night. Now, we did catch some walleyes throughout the day as well. The best baits for catching those walleyes, dead sticks with a plain red hook tipped with a rainbow worked best. But we did catch some on golden shiners as well. Now, as far as jigging for walleyes, we used the new Northland tungsten buckshot spoons. We had some really good luck with the Super Glow Pink and the Super Glow Sneeze. We tipped those with the head of a fat head and caught some really nice walleyes this past weekend. Then as far as the perch bite goes, 8 to 12 feet of water, 5mm tungsten jigs with a waxworm. Pound that down in the sand and you could get a lot of those bigger perch to bite. They were also biting on some smaller buckshot spoon tipped with waxworms or minnow heads, and the bite for perch lasted all day long. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, the pike are absolutely everywhere out there. They are biting on absolutely everything. Whether you put down a tiny little 4mm tungsten jig with a waxworm, or you had a big jigging spoon on with a full minnow, if you put down a big sucker minnow, a shiner, a rainbow, it didn't matter. The pike were going to eat it, and there is no shortage of pike out there, with a mix of them being anywhere from 18 inches up to those mid to upper 30-inch mark. Now, as far as eel pout, surprisingly, there is quite a few eel pout being caught in that shallow water, that 9 to 11 feet of water. Bigger buckshot spoons with the minnow, especially glow spoons, or if you put your dead stick a little too close to bottom, or if that is actually laying on bottom, you do have a pretty decent chance of catching an eel pout right now. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, the crappies nowhere to be found as of right now, but the big bluegills are up in those weed transitions, those sand to grass transitions, that 8 to 10 feet of water, a 4mm or a 5mm tungsten jig tipped with a waxworm or a euro larva, and you might catch yourself one heck of a bluegill. We got some over 10 inches this past weekend, and they are a blast to catch. Now, if you're looking for a day house, a cabin, a shuttle ride out on the lake, the Pines Resort, they offer all of those. They have cabins available this weekend and throughout the rest of the year. You can book a cabin combination with a day house out on the lake. They also have live bait, fish cleaning shack, full bar and restaurant. Whatever you need to make a successful ice fishing trip up on Lake Winnie, the Pines Resort can help accommodate your trip. Now, one big thing, guys, they are thinking that not this weekend, but the weekend of December 19th, that they will probably be allowing out, fingers crossed, half-ton pickup trucks and single-axle wheelhouses. If the cold weather continues, maybe even a little bit bigger, but we're not going to get our hopes up too high. But stay tuned to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, and we will update you as soon as we get confirmation of those changes. All right, if you guys are looking for a sleeper house out on Lake Winnie, Scott from zupsguideservice, he will be running his sleeper houses out there starting around Christmas. He does have some availability still in January and then throughout the rest of the year. So if you want to get in on some phenomenal walleye, perch, eel pout, maybe some tulipy action, go ahead, give Scott a call and get something on the books. All right, now moving over to Mille Lacs Lake, Castles Resort in Isle Bay. They have 10 to 11 inches of ice out on Isle Bay right now. They are allowing out ATVs, side-by-side snowmobiles, and smaller cars / SUVs. So if you want to get out there, possibly drive your car or smaller SUV, you are more than welcome to do that out to Barrel 6. I'm hoping to have a lake map to put into the report here. If so, it'll pop up right now. The fishing out of Castles Resort, the walleye bite, people are catching walleyes. There is a ton of 8 to 12 inch walleyes. They are getting the occasional bigger fish mixed in, along with some of those slot fish as well. Now, the best ways to catch them, a dead stick with a plain red hook, a small sucker minnow, or a golden shiner is working really well. As far as jigging, big buckshot spoons in perch pattern, gold and orange has been working well. And then as far as the perch bite goes, there are millions and millions of little perch out there right now. It's nearly impossible to escape them. There are some bigger, nice perch mixed in. Some 10 to 12 inchers are being picked up. Best ways to catch them is a smaller jigging spoon with a minnow head, or a bigger tungsten jig with some wax worms, or you can even tip that tungsten jig with a minnow head as well. Best depth for the walleye and perch right now is kind of that 10 to 18 feet of water on the break lines. As the ice continues to improve and as they can push further and further out of the bay, those deeper structures will more than likely hold better numbers of those bigger walleyes. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, they are catching some absolute hog pike out on Isle Bay right now. Anywhere from that 8 to 20 feet of water. There's bait fish everywhere, so those pike aren't really congregated to one area, but it seems like there are good numbers of them and good numbers of those big ones. So make sure when you're headed up there, bring some bigger sucker minnows, some smelt, put down a tip up, and more than likely you will tag into some nice pike. Now, if you guys are looking for a cabin, Castles Resort does have some cabins available. They have some onshore camping available as well. They do have fish house packages, so if you book a cabin, you can also include a day house out on the lake. And then as far as their sleeper houses, those will be ready to go the weekend of December 19th. So if you want to get in a sleeper house out on Mille Lacs Lake, go ahead, call Castles Resort and get one of those lined up before they are all gone. So if you guys are looking to get up to Mille Lacs Lake out of the Isle Bay area, go ahead and call Jeff or Kimberly from Castles Resort. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake, starting with Horseshoe Bay Lodge. With these really cold temperatures and then warming up this weekend, they are going to be waiting until later on Friday, I believe, to make the decision if they're going to allow out walkouts or possibly ATVs. As of Wednesday, they had 5 to 6 inches of good ice, but they wanted to see what this cold weather was going to do. The bar and restaurant there will be open this coming weekend, along with they do have hotel rooms and large group housing as well. As far as the fishing goes, there hasn't really been anybody fishing out of Horseshoe Bay Lodge, so don't have a lot to offer there. But if you guys are looking to get up to Leech Lake out on the main lake, definitely give Austin or Cam a call from Horseshoe Bay Lodge. All right, now moving over to Acorn Hill Resort on Traders Bay of Leech Lake. They have 6 to 8 inches of ice currently. They are going to hold off one more week before opening up their access, so they will be opening on December 19th. Along with that, they're hoping to have their sleeper houses out and available for that same weekend. So if you want to get in a sleeper house out on Leech Lake, definitely give Kyle a call from Acorn Hill and book one of those nice sleeper houses. They do have cabin availability. Like I've mentioned before, they are building a brand new bar and grill. It's not quite done yet, but they're hoping to wrap that up here very soon, and we will let you know as soon as that is done. Now, Acorn Hill Resort, they do have cabins available. So if you want to book a cabin, whether it's next weekend or the rest of the year, definitely jump on one of those. And they do have perch guided trips as well. So if you want to get a little bit of help with finding some of those nice perch, go ahead and book one of their perch guides. Now, with Acorn Hill not quite being open yet, I don't have a lot to offer about the bite out there. I have heard of a few people sneaking out in that 8 to 14 feet of water, and they have been able to locate some nicer perch out there and some pretty good numbers. So I do suspect once their access does open, there should be some really good perch fishing and some nice walleyes mixed in. So if you guys are looking to get up to Leech Lake out of Traders Bay, go ahead and call Kyle from Acorn Hill Resort. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. Really appreciate you guys tuning in as usual. If you could, hit that like button, share this video out, leave a comment below. It really does help the videos out if you guys interact. If you do make it out fishing, remember, be respectful of other fishermen. Don't crowd your neighbor. Do not leave your trash on the ice. Don't dump your sewage out there. That is a real loser move. And when you do get out there, if you want your pictures featured in next week's fishing report, send them to our email or to us on Facebook, and we will include you in next week's fishing report. With that being said, guys, don't forget to get on out there and get living.